Hi, I'm David from ballstoves.com. Today I'm going to show you how I make my stoves. This is a design I found on the internet, and I tried making them, and I found they work really well. People have found them to prime more easily than stoves like the Trangia, and just cook more easily and faster. You can prime it inside the stove instead of having to pour alcohol on the outside. And you don't need a stand for it. You just set your pot right on top. Now there are a few different people and companies who make this type of stove, and I decided to make them because I was searching for something that would be good for a through hike, and I decided I enjoyed making them. Okay, to start making the stove, you're going to need an aluminum bottle, well actually two of them. This is a Bud Light beer bottle. And you're going to need to cut it on a table saw. This is unplugged. You need to cut it right around here and right at the end of the taper. And we'll cut this piece. Get a piece that looks somewhat like this. Then we'll use this piece to measure off where you're going to cut the other piece. So I'll cut this right around there. And then you'll have two pieces, and we'll deburr them, sandpaper or file, and make a few notches in the bottom. These notches allow the fuel to go from the inside of the stove to the outer wall. So once you've cleaned them and made the notches, put them together like so, and you're going to have to make a die to crimp the stove. To make the die, you can use a tapered end, the piece you just cut off, to widen a bottom piece from a bottle. And then you can use the bottle bottom to widen it further, and to press. And when you press pieces together, I recommend you put a thin layer of petroleum jelly on them. Now, before you press pieces together, you're going to want to have a hole in the bottom of your die. So once you've made your die, you'll have a bottle bottom stuck in it, and you shoot some compressed air into this hole, and it pops pieces apart. You take your die and your two bottle pieces, and notice that there's about a quarter inch, a little bit more, of space between the top of this cone piece and the top of the bottle, and that aluminum is going to be crimped over in the die. put the pieces together, you use a very strong, even press. Crimp the pieces together. It has to be pretty strong. It probably has to be stronger than, well, more pressure than it takes to lift a car. So after you crimp the pieces, the crimp should look like this. And depending on how good your press and die are, that will determine how nice and even your crimp is. Then you're going to want to drill holes around your stove, a ½ inch down, maybe more, depending on your hole size. And you're done. You can check my website, bottlestoves.com. I sell some stoves for $8 to $10 a piece, depending on your hole preferences. Thank you. Bye.